Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Let's begin your daily quiz. Question number 1 on your screen is this. Consider the following statements with regards to the Ganges River dolphins and choose the correct ones. Number 1. They are listed as endangered on the IUCN Red List. Second, it is a national aquatic animal of India. And third, it features in Schedule number 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is A. First and the second statements are correct, while the third statement is wrong. The reason why the third statement is wrong is because the Ganges River dolphins is in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. This Wildlife Protection Act, as you know, has a total of 6 schedules. In these schedules, from 1 to 5, species are listed in decreasing order of protection that has been given to them, meaning that the species listed in Schedule 1 are the most protected, followed by 2, 3, 4, and 5. Schedule 6 contains a list of those plants which you cannot grow legally at your places. The reason why we are asking this question is because of this article in the Hindu newspaper today, according to which the Union Jal Shakti Ministry has released a guide for safe rescue and release of these dolphins. This article specifically tells you that these species are endangered in the IUCN Red List and are a part of Schedule number 1 of the Indian Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. It also tells you that they are found in the Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna, and Karnafuli Sangu river system of Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. Interestingly, they are also a very good indicator of healthy aquatic systems. Means if these dolphins are seen in a water body, that indicates that the water body is in a pretty good health. Moving on to question number 2. Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of the beautiful bride that is Hindustan. The weakness of any one of them will spoil the beauty of the bride. This statement is associated with whom amongst the following? Aurobindo Ghosh, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, or Mahatma Gandhi. The correct answer here is C, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. One of the most well-known personalities in 19th century India, he was also the founder of the Aligarh Muslim University. He has been a pretty debatable and controversial figure in the Indian freedom movement, and it is said that his role in the pre 1857 and the post 1857 revolt era was very different. While before 1857 he made these statements propagating the unity amongst Hindus and Muslims in the country. Post 1857, he became much more closer to the British and he urged the Muslim community in India to be on good terms with the British. He was also considered as someone who encouraged the Muslim population in India to take up modern and scientific studies apart from the religious teachings. He famously said that if you have Quran in one hand, you should have science books in the other hand. The reason why we are asking this question is because of this article in today's Indian Express. This is an article talking about the legacy of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the founder of Mohammedan Anglo Oriental College, also known as the Aligarh Muslim University today. One of the few people who are cherished both in India and Pakistan today. Moving on to question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to dengue. Number 1. The same mosquito species is responsible for causing dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever, and Zika infection. Second, the diagnosis of dengue infection is done with a blood test. Third, the National Vector Borne Disease Control Program under the Ministry of Urban Development is a central nodal agency for prevention and control of dengue in India. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is A. 1 and 2 are correct. Third statement is partially wrong. While this agency is the nodal agency for prevention and control of dengue in India, it does not work under Ministry of Urban Development. Rather, it works under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. As you know, diseases such as dengue, chikungunya, etc., are vector borne diseases mainly caused by the mosquito that is Aedes aegypti. The reason why we are asking this question is because of increasing number of dengue deaths that are seen specifically in northern part of the country, including the national capital of Delhi. The months of October, November and December are usually seen as high risk months, especially for dengue related cases in North India. Moving on to question number 4. Which of these nations is not a part of the basic group of nations? South Africa, China, Bangladesh, or India? The correct answer is Bangladesh. BASIC stands for Brazil, South Africa, India, and China. More specifically, if you remove Russia from BRICS nation, you will come to the BASIC group of nations. The reason why these nations are relevant and are in the news is because of the ongoing climate change summit at Glasgow, in which India's environment minister, that is Shri Bhupendra Yadav, spoke on behalf of the basic nations and underlined our belief in common but differentiated responsibility clause. As you would have seen, it is all over the newspapers that the Prime Minister has also announced that India is aiming for net zero by year 2070. Time now for a previous year question of 2019. Who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to albums and individual portrait? Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, or Shah Jahan? The correct answer is Jahangir. It is said that the Mughal school of painting reached its pinnacle at the time of Jahangir. In fact, his own portrait, which shows him holding a picture of Virgin Mary in his right hand, is one of the most recognized pieces of art in the Mughal school of painting. Jahangir also had many famous painters in his court, including Ustad Mansur and Bishan Das. Let's now move on to the fact of the day, and today we will be discussing about NREGA, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. All of you would know that under this NREGA scheme, the government of India provides 100 days of guaranteed employment in a year to any rural household at minimum wages. Although many governments have criticized the scheme, saying that it is an indication that not enough skill development has happened in the rural areas. However, the reality is the scheme has given a lot of positive results, including increasing employment and increasing the earning capacity of people in the rural areas. Not just this, it has also led to decreasing migration from rural to the urban areas in search of job. This article in the Indian Express today focuses on some problems that are not allowing NREGA to reach its complete potential. It says that the release of funds under NREGA has been extremely slow. In fact, today itself in the newspaper, there was another article of Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik asking the central government to release funds meant for Manrega as soon as possible. This year specifically, with a large migration of people from cities back to the villages after the lockdown, a lot of NREGA funds were utilized by the government very early on. In fact, this article tells you that the government has already spent 90% of the NREGA budget by September end. Do understand that the financial year starts from 1st of April. So from 1st of April till the end of September, 90% of the budget of NREGA was already spent. Also, the state governments, while giving a list of NREGA workers to the union government, have to categorize the workers in three categories. That is, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and others. Now, the article tells you that while scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are mostly getting their payments on time, the others category, to which about 87% of the workers belong, have not been getting their wages of NREGA work on time. Thus, the heading of the article, Low Funds and Caste Based Payment Delays. You usually expect the payment delays to be other way around. However, in this particular scheme, while SC and ST workers are getting their payment on time, it is the others which are suffering. The government also utilizes this scheme to increase the number of days of guaranteed jobs, especially in areas which are suffering from drought or other natural calamities year after year. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.